Hey guys, it's Brittany from Tickled Pink and Primary, and I just wanted to try to help you guys out with some of the distance learning that you're having to do right now. So I'm going to show you how to set up a Zoom meeting so that you can use that with your students. And then I'm also going to show you how some of the resources that I already have in my store have a digital component that could be used right now during your distance learning. I actually did some of these activities with my kindergarten nephew and actually my 3-year-old niece as well. And we did them over a Zoom call, and I just simply shared my screen so that they could see all of the resources that were on my computer and we could do them together. Just open up the Zoom app, and this is what it looks like. You're going to want to come over to where it says schedule. This way you can get a link to send your parents ahead of time so that they will be able to have this link so that they can click it and have their students join in on the Zoom call. So let's click schedule. You can rename this anything that you want to. I could call this Mrs. Lynch's classroom meeting or whatever I want to. We're gonna put the date on here and the time. Make sure that you look at the time zone. If this is gonna be a recurring meeting that maybe you're gonna be teaching them every day from 12 to 4 or whatever your district is requiring, you can just simply select recurring meeting. Down here you have two options. This is doesn't really matter. This says generate automatically, which just gives you a random code, or you can have a personal meeting ID, and this will always be part of the link information that you provide to parents. One thing that I would suggest, because I don't know if you have heard about the Zoom bombing going on, where now if you share your link publicly, some people are getting your Zoom link and then they get onto your Zoom call and do inappropriate things. So I would make sure that you have a password here that your parents will have to type in for them to even gain access to your Zoom call. The next step you're going to want to do is turn your video host on so that all of your students will be able to see you. And then your participants, you can turn your video on or off for your students. Now, I know that you probably are dying to see your students. You really want to, but you may need to check with your district. Some districts have set up a rule where you are not allowed to have the video portion of the for the students on. There have been incidences where there were some things going on in the background that maybe shouldn't have been, and then they were, of course, on camera for everybody to see. So you may need to check with your district if you are allowed to see your students' faces or if this needs to be turned off to where they can only see you. All right, the next thing is the audio. You're going to want to have computer audio, unless you're calling in for some reason, but most likely you're just on the computer. This is if you want to have this link added to one of your calendars, you can do that. I would come down here and do advanced options as well. So down here this says enable the join before the host. So do you want your students to be able to get on to the live video before you've even gotten on? If you check this, then they will be allowed. If not, then they'll just have like a waiting screen. And then as soon as you join, then everybody just kind of gets logged in. Do you want to mute your participants? This could be a little chaotic if like you don't mute them and then they all come in and they're just like, la, 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 just chatting on top of each other. So if you want to kind of start off with a little intro by yourself, you may want to mute them at the beginning. And then if you want to record this so that maybe you can save it and share it out later in case some parents weren't allowed, parents weren't around with their kids to get on the Zoom call, you can always record this. Okay, so I'm going to keep these like this. I'm going to, well, let's say we're going to record it and schedule. Okay, so then this is just going to, wants me to choose an account. This is basically just so that it can add information to your calendar. And so then right here you can see that this gives me my event details. So this is a link that I can provide parents. I can copy and paste this. Here's a little message. So I could copy all of this, and I can change this. Mrs. Lynch is inviting you to her classroom meeting on every Tuesday or every day from 12 to 4. It gives the link and it gives the password for parents so they know how to answer. Okay, so I'm just going to say save. And then that's going to save it right into my calendar. Okay, so once I'm ready to go live for my meeting, I'm going to click the link. It's going to pull this screen up that says join with computer audio. So I'm going to say yes. All right, and then I have a little green light at the top of my screen, so that shows me that the video is working, and of course I can see myself. And then I had the computer audio, so the microphone is going to be working for the kids to hear me as well. Okay, so I'm just going to show you around a few things before I start showing you how to easily use some of my Tickled Pink resources with your students or your Zoom call. So look down at the bottom, and over on the bottom left of my screen it says mute. So if I click this, then this is going to mute my voice for a little bit. I can click this arrow. Okay, down here I can stop the video. So if I am recording, then I can say, okay, let's stop for a little bit. Down here, I can invite participants. This is going to be more if you did not go on ahead and pre-schedule your meeting. So like when I've done a Zoom call with my friends, I've just come in here, set up a live meeting, and then I come down here to get my invitation to send out to my friends. So you don't necessarily need that. Down here, this is where all of your participants that are going to be on live with you. So if I click this right now, it shows 1 because I'm by myself. But it would drop down a whole list of everybody else. This feature is nice because you may want to do a few things in here. At the bottom, it says mute all. So if you are wanting to do your lesson and you want your students to just sit and quietly listen to you for a little bit, you're probably going to want to put the mute all button. Because if not, we know little kids, they're going to be excited, they're going to want to talk and share things, and things may be happening around them in their house that they're distracting. So the mute all button is nice just so that you can get a little bit of solo teaching time. Simply unmute them whenever you're ready. You can click more down here, and this just gives you a little bit of extra features that you want. Okay, I'm just going to close out of that. The share button is the next one on the toolbar down here, and that is how we're going to share our resources with our students, so we'll get back to that. The next one is chat. You don't really need this with your students unless you want them to kind of be able to like talk to each other. This is just simply just a little chat that's going to display over on the side here. So if I typed in a message like, hey everyone, I'm so happy to see you. Okay, so then it pops up there, and then everybody else can chat there as well. This would be a good place to share a file with others. Once again, you're most likely going to do your file sharing through like email, Google Classroom, something else with your parents. Most likely you're not going to share the file right here with your students and then have them download it. Okay, the record option, if you did not already choose to record the video previous to this. And then when you are finished with your meeting, one of the last things that you're going to do down here is click on the red End Meeting. And it'll ask you if you want to leave the meeting. So that means that the meeting will still be going and just you're choosing to leave. Or End Meeting for All, which is what you're going to want to choose just so that everything gets shut down and nobody else is in the Zoom meeting anymore. Okay, another thing that I want to show you, and I can't show you exactly just because I'm on the call by myself, but up here in the top corner, let's close out of that. Up here in the top corner, you're going to see like a little 9-dot grid, and it depends on which way you have it checked. So if you log on and your students start to log on and you just see maybe 4 or 5 kids right above your head and then your face really big, you're going to want to change that setting so that you can see your entire class at once. So you're going to just click that little 9-dot grid up there and choose Gallery View. And what that will do is that will just kind of put everybody into a grid so that you get to see everybody's faces, and your students will get to see everybody's faces as well on one screen. Okay, so now let's get to the part of how do I share resources with my students so that we can just do a whole group during the call. So I'm going to show you how I did this with my nephew and my niece. I did Fluency and Fitness so that we could get a little bit of learning and movement. We did Fluency Find It, which is typically a whole group game, but I'm going to show you a couple ways you could play this through the Zoom call, or if you share this with your students that they could play independently at home. We did some physical phonics so that we could work on our letter sounds and get in a little bit of movement that way. And lastly, one of their favorites, we did the digital task cards. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to come down to the bottom box where it says share. And then it pulls up a few different activities. So I just want to share my desktop. Double click on that, and I need to get out of my Zoom screen. And then I already have down here in my toolbar, I have some things ready to go. So let's start with Fluency and Fitness, because that's my baby. This is what the membership home page looks like. So if you are not a member of Fluency and Fitness, this is all that you're going to get whenever you become a member. There are over 900 videos for K through 2. We have a few that could be used in 3rd grade. We have some that could be used in pre-K, but the majority is K through 2. That's what you're going to get the big bulk of your videos for. So, sorry, losing my train of thought. So this is what your membership homepage looks like, and you can simply see all of those math videos that I have on the website, all the reading videos that I have on the website. I'll talk about this little blue thing in a minute. Or something that I just added recently to help parents, because I know they don't know all of the terms and words like phoneme segmentation or even CVC words. So I added this section where they can narrow by grade level. So if they click on kindergarten, this is going to show all the kindergarten appropriate math and reading topics that their kid can do. It may pull up addition, but it's not going to show them all the addition videos that I have on the website. They would have to come up here into the math category to see literally every addition video I have. These are going to be more of the kindergarten appropriate math videos. If you scroll down, this shows you some of our most popular videos that are being played right now, some of the videos that have been added recently, and then this is a favorite for parents because this is the power workout. So these don't have any educational slides at all. It is literally just 4 to 6 minutes of straight up exercises. So it can really wear the kids out and kind of have fun for them as well. Okay, so we'll start over here because this is new. This is for a limited time only. This is typically not found on our Fluency and Fitness website. This is something that I added once all these school closures started happening, and I just knew that parents were needing things, and I had some things that I thought that they could use that were very little prep, very easy to use in multiple ways, and so I just added them on here. But this will get taken away at the end of the school year once, hopefully things start to go back to normal. But I'll go ahead and show you what's inside of here for now. We'll talk about physical phonics later, but I did add the video portion to the top here, and these are just the videos. So if you own or have looked at my physical phonics resources before, they come with a video and flashcards and a student book and lots of other things. I knew parents didn't need all of that right now, and that was just going to kind of overwhelm them. But I put up just the videos so that their kid can work on some of their phonics sounds and do them with me. So those are up here for a limited time. And then I just went through my blog post and I looked for some freebies that I thought were super easy for parents to use. And then I made up a couple of new ones. And these are just print and go. So someone can click on this. If they clicked on the picture, it would automatically download a PDF file, and they can print out these alphabet flashcards. And then I give them like 4 to 5 different ideas they can do with the flashcards. CVC cut and paste. I wrote 10 new writing prompts for the kids to do while they're at home. So here's just a little bit of freebies that I thought parents might be able to use. And then 2 blog posts with just, once again, extra ideas that I thought that could be helpful for all of this learning at home. So there are the resources for home. Now let's see what the real Fluency and Fitness is like. I'm going to come into the reading section. All right, let's do CVC words. So that's the category I'm going to click on. And then all it does is pulls up all of the videos that you can choose from. So I'm going to end up doing one of these mixed ones. So I'm coming to the bottom here. Each video comes with 2 versions. We did this so that you can use these videos whenever your students are still kind of learning the skill and they just want a little bit of fun review. You're going to want to use 6 seconds. That gives your students 6 seconds to read the CVC word before it goes to the next word. So this is going to be a little slower. If your students are more fluent and they've been learning the skill for a while, you're going to do the 3-second version. Okay, so for students to be considered fluent in something, reading, math facts, anything like that, if they can do it in 3 seconds or less, they're considered fluent. So I'm going to click on the 3-second version. It is going to pull up, sorry, I don't know why this little Tailwind extension from Chrome is staying there, but yours won't look like that. So once I pull up the video, I can enlarge it if I want it to be full screen, and then I'm just going to simply click play. We won't go through, I'll kind of like quickly go through the video so you don't have to do this whole thing. So the kids are just going to read the word. Once again, kids can do this at home independently, or if you want to do this by sharing your screen so that the whole class is reading these words, you totally can. Okay, now this is when they have to get down, do some sit-ups, and then when the music stops, they know, oh, that's time to settle back down and get ready to learn. So there's only music and sound on the exercise slides. That's a really good transition for kids to know when to get ready to learn and when to have fun and exercise. Okay, so we're going to close out of there. So that's fluency and fitness. Once again, can be used at home, can be used sharing your screen. Something that we have added just for this time of home learning is we are allowing our paid active members to share this with their families. They are able to share their login info. Once you sign up, you will get an email, and then it has a bunch of information in your welcome email, and then it just says, reply back to me and tell me how many students you have. I then go into your account, I add that many number of logins so that your parents can log into the site as well and use this independently at home with their own kids. And we have had a lot of parents signing up for this, and they are just really enjoying that their kids are getting into some movement and that there's so many different videos on here for their kids to choose from. Okay, next thing, I'm going to come in here and show you the physical phonics. And if you have the physical phonics products from my store, then it's the same video. I did add this like fancy little cover page on it to make it look a little nicer. So physical phonics, I'm going to blow this up as well. Okay, don't laugh at me. This is a video of like me doing the sounds. It's so embarrassing. So I had to pause that. But that just gives you an idea of what physical phonics is like, and it's just a way to have your kids work on letters and sounds through movement. So if you own the resource, you can send the file to your parents so they can do it anytime they want to with their own student, or you could play it whole group by sharing your screen just like I did here. Okay, so I'm going to close out of here and I'm going to open up, I have task cards pulled up. Okay, so if you have never used my task cards before, they do require PowerPoint to play. PowerPoint just has so many other features compared to like Google Slides or Keynote. So if you try to transfer these to a different software, all of the transitions and sounds and everything just don't keep up. So if your parents have PowerPoint, you could easily share these files with your parents during this time right now. If they do not, I'm going to show you how you can play this as a whole group just by sharing your screen. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on the slideshow button to make it full screen. We're going to go to the next slide. And when kids are playing this independently, so if you are having them do this at home, they can click on the speaker and this will read directions to them so they know exactly what they're going to do in this specific game. And then it goes over an example problem with them. When they're ready to move on, they click play. Okay, so turn my volume up a little bit so you can hear those sounds. So if they are playing independently, they are just going to click on one of the stars at the bottom to select their answer. If you're doing this whole group, they're not going to be able to actually click anything on their screen because they're just viewing what is on your screen. So you can do this a few different ways. You can have just one student at a time that you call on to tell you which answer to choose, or you could have your whole group participate and maybe you could just have them hold up 1, 2, or 3 to tell you, should I pick star number 1, star number 2, or star number 3? So let me show you how these work. If I click on the incorrect answer, like 10. I'm going to hear clink, and it's not transitioning the slides. Okay, so this, make sure that your kids get a little bit more practice before they continue. So let me try, okay, oh, I think it's 60. Okay, when I get the answer right, I hear the chime, and then it'll let me go to the next slide. Okay, same thing. Oops, got that one wrong. Oh yeah, it's 10. Okay, this will go all the way through the end, and then when they get to the end of the game, it'll do a big yahoo, letting them know that they got through and that they can go to another game. Okay, so I'm going to get out of our task cards. So I have a ton of these for pre-K, kindergarten, first, and second grade. So the digital task cards work really well for you to play whole group right now, or if your parents have PowerPoint, they are perfect for some independent practice. Okay, last thing is Fluency Find It. These are typically played whole group, but I'm going to show you how you can do this through your Zoom call, so you can still play whole group, or if you have a way to send these files and your parents have PowerPoint, they can play this as a family, or maybe just a couple of the kids in the family can play together, or even if they want to play independently, I'll show you how they do that as well. So Fluency Find It comes with a couple of different versions depending on how long your kids need on each slide before it transitions to the next one. So you can do 6 seconds. So that one is going to be when they're pretty fluent with the skill. They're going to have 6 seconds to be able to look up at the slide, see what's on the slide, and then hunt for their answer on the worksheet. 10 seconds, or the manual version, you have to sit through and you have to click through each slide. It's not going to be on a timer at all. They do come with worksheets, so I'm going to open these for you. All right, let's zoom out so you can see the whole worksheet. So this one is just a blank one that you can use. So this game would work on adding the numbers 0, 1, and 2. So if your parents have a way to print this out at home and you're playing whole group, then your kids can just use this and they can just color in the answers whenever they match it to the screen. Okay, when they get to the switch spots slide, which you'll see when I show you the presentation, typically that's when your students are going to like run around the table or switch spots with a friend, but it's not their turn to be coloring the answer anymore, so they have to switch spots and let somebody else in. While they're at home, they could do a couple of things. They could just switch colors, and maybe they were coloring with a red crayon, so now they're going to switch and use purple. Or you can just have them get up and do a little dance while they're on that slide and then get back down ready to get ready for the next slide. So here are the worksheets. And then I'm going to show you what one of the games looks like. So let's do like addition to 10. I'm going to open it up. I just click read only. I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, it should just open. Okay, so this is 6 seconds per slide that they have to look and think of the answer and then color the answer. If you're doing this whole group and you don't want to do the worksheet at all, your kids can just say the answer. You don't have to use the worksheet. That's how I did it with my nephew the other day. Okay, here's the slide where they can get up and dance. They can switch colors if they're coloring. All right, back to learning. Another option besides doing the worksheet that I also did with my nephew is just told him to get a piece of paper and pencil and just write down the answers. So Fluency Find It can be used a few different ways so that you can still use some of these fun resources with your students while they are at home. When you're finished, you're just gonna stop sharing your screen, and then you are going to come down, and when you're ready, you're gonna click the red end meeting, and that will be the end of your Zoom call. Okay, I hope that you found some of these resources helpful for your distance learning. And if you need any other ideas or help with some of the resources while you're going through this, just don't hesitate to reach out. All right, stay healthy.